We are sitting at my newly instated drawing table. I sit here every morning so that I can ensure that I'm participating in my drawing and sketchbook practice while doing other projects to see if it like prevents me like falling into burnout and losing myself, which is something that I often do once projects are over. This is from a sushi place near the studio. It's actually such an unassuming good little spot and I'm so grateful we have it. I am jumping in the deep end of my picture book. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm working on my 7th spread of 15. So I'm about halfway through and my deadline's 1st of Jan, which is fine. The only other thing that I want to focus on also is my show that's happening in Tokyo, which is March 21st. So if you're going to be in Tokyo, we'll see each other if you want to come. But I'm working on these 2 projects simultaneously and I don't really do well working on them simultaneously. So I'm kind of just like letting things like mull over in my mind as I'm making the late bird stuff. Anyway, let's taste my sushi. The book will be published in 2027, which sounds like it's ages away, but it's almost 2026. It's almost time for the little fishies to be banned. So these little plastic fish are iconic Australian sushi soy sauce containers. I'm sad to see them go because they're so cute. They are like so unnecessarily hard plastic. So in that way, it's good. Whatever the replacement is, I'm just hoping they pay homage or it's as cute. You know what I mean? I also saw that they were replacing the Suica mascot, which has been around since 2000 or something. I'm so sad. It was designed by a picturebook author. And if you don't know, Suica is like one of the transport cards in Japan. It's the little penguin one. So they're replacing the mascot I think next year. So sad. Potentially I'll still be there when they have it. Plus I still have my Suica card, so I'll always have it. I think that's why I like the Olympics. I don't really care about the sport. I care about the mascots. But speaking of sketchbook practice, I've been sitting down every day since I got back and started reworking on, I was going to say bandits, on the late bird. Just been like doing a little spread every day. I set like a timer, this Snoopy timer that I got from the Snoopy Museum Tokyo. I set it for 20 minutes and I just let it go. And I'll usually do like 20 to 30 minutes. But yeah, they're just like little pieces. It's just nice. I saw this post yesterday that said something like, for the rest of the days of the year, if you do like 15 minutes, that's like 17 hours. You still have time to like do a project you've been wanting to do. And while like this doesn't really amount to anything, it's nice to think that. I love being reminded that small little steps add up to something bigger later because they can be really easy to push to the side. This is how ideas don't come to fruition. Yum, I love the miso. So today I've been working on the late bird. I just finished one of the illustrations that I was the most excited to start and I'm really happy with it. So like, oh, that just gives me self-esteem as a creative, I have to say. Sometimes when you do stuff and you don't do a good spread, like I feel like the first spread I tried, it didn't turn out exactly as I wanted it to, but I don't know if I have time to redo it. So we'll just have to see. My plan is to just get everything done and then redo the ones that I'm not fully happy with once I know that I've done everything. This deadline is going to creep up, especially because I'm going to Tasmania to see my mum at Christmas. Rocket's cousin might be staying with us. And it's my birthday on Sunday. So it was just like this time of year gets really unexpectedly busy because Rocket's birthday, my birthday, Christmas celebrations and stuff like that. But yes, I do think I'll be able to be fine. Sometimes I think I'm like a shark where give me the deadline and I'll fit the work into the deadline. We'll see if that's healthy by the end of my life. I'm going to finish my lunch. I'll show you what I've been doing today over the last few days and then we'll talk about Big Brother Australia. Can you hear me? Yes, yes, yes. Listen to this. Special iced water. I'm not trying to block this. I just have my mood board stuff up here. Let me show you what I've just done. I may need to do some detailing, but again, I want to leave it to when I have done the bulk of the other spreads. I fear this is going to be my favorite spread. How am I supposed to do better? I guess I can just continue to chase this vibe or quality or satisfaction. I really like the dispersion of the palette and I really like the colors. I don't know. I just really like it. So I'm just hoping the second piece will be as simple and as fun. What was I going to say? One thing I wanted to do was in the first portion of the book, the late bird is awake in the day. I wanted to make sure that no other colors in the landscape looked like that so that when she wakes up in the night, it's like she belongs. Like things are so much more vibrant. And I wanted it to be like when you find your place and everything just fits and everything just becomes more colorful, more amazing. I have so much to say about this book. I wish I could tell you everything and show you everything, but alas, we must wait until 2027. I'm so bad at doing this. I'm so bad at keeping secrets. I swear that I'm just showing everything but the characters. When I'm in my studio, I'll usually have, like when I'm doing painting projects like books or Petersham, where I'm in the studio every day painting, I usually have like audiobooks on rather than music or podcasts. At the moment though, I've been like putting on Big Brother streams. which is fine, but it's more distracting because I'm looking at the screen. Big Brother in Australia used to be live, then it changed to not being live. No one liked it because it sucked. And also they fully edited it and all the challenges are sports challenges. Like, I don't just want to see sports challenges. If I wanted to see sports challenges, I would just watch sports. Now they put it back on the original network and it's live as it used to be, and there's voting as there used to be. They also have a live stream online 24/7, so like at any point in the day you can open it up and just see what the housemates are doing, and they'll just like pan to the rooms that the housemates are in and pan to different conversations, which honestly I love it. For like something where I don't have to pay attention, I can just overhear as if I'm in a cafe, like overhearing people's conversations. I love it. I'm just an eavesdropper by nature. I'm sorry, I just am. But yeah, I love it. It's only like day 4, but I've had it on in the studio, and Rocket set up like this TV over here, like a screen. He'll sit over there, I'll sit over here, and then we'll just watch it and talk about it as it's happening. There's a mix of people. There's some people with some not desirable values, in my opinion. These guys are talking about like, oh, women are not like DNA wise, like made for the workplace vibe, like I want a trad wife kind of thing. And it's fine if you want a, like your wife chooses to stay at home to look after the kids, but if you're like forcing that upon, and like my rebuttal is like, what if she makes more than you? Do you want to go on more family holidays? Do you want, like, are you going to be okay like stepping aside? Is it like an ego thing, or are you actually wanting to provide for your family? Because I can assure you it's an ego thing. That's what I think. That's just what I think. I think the majority of people that are hard stanced on like women should be at home with the kids and men shouldn't, I feel like are just doing it because they're ego and they want to reinforce their masculinity or whatever. But I didn't grow up in that sort of system. Like my mom was the worker and my dad stayed at home, so I just don't see it as like the baseline, if that makes sense. So when people are hard pressed on it, I'm like, you can want something for yourself, but once you meet someone, I feel that you have to take into consideration what they want. If they want that too, amazing. But like if you're trying to force someone to do that, I don't like that. And I feel that the guys that were talking about this, there's one guy called Michael. He thinks he's so controversial, which his opinions are just like boring, outdated opinions, but he thinks he's so cool because of it. I don't think he's cool at all. Guys, if there's one thing you need to know about me, I love reality TV. I do. I get fired up. I will say I enjoy hating on the people I hate on. There's this girl called Holly. She's an influencer. She's very pretty. And I think because she's pretty, people are just automatically hating on her. She does talk about herself a lot, but that's fine. A lot of people in the house are talking about themselves a lot. But for some reason, when she does it, she's like evil. Now, the thing that people have a problem with is that they are seeing her be flirtatious and cuddly with this guy who's like the larrikin guy. And I think that they don't like it because she's really pretty in an influencer pretty way. And this boy, he's 21, which is why I'm calling him a boy. But he's like, I don't know, he's just like interesting looking. He has a mullet. He's silly. It made me think about the difference between like American and Australian reality TV, where like the hot girls in Australian reality shows are looking for like a joker. They're looking for like, I don't think they're paying as much attention to like looks. Like in America, when you watch Love Island or something, like the hotties will go with the hotties or whatever. But in like Australian reality shows, the girls go for like the larrikins, which is like the jokers, the silly boys, if that makes sense. Like I feel like humor is really, really a desired trait in Australia. And I was talking to Megan because we both watched Love Island, and she was saying, because I remember her saying that Australian Love Island was her favorite, and I was like, really? Like I don't really like Australian Love Island. Like what do you like about it? She's like, she just likes how the girls, like she just likes the cultural differences, and like that the girls go for the tradies, and a tradie is like a construction worker, or like, I don't know if a chippy and a spucky is included in a tradie, or if a tradie is just like a construction worker. But like a chippy is like a carpenter, a tradie is like I think a construction worker, and a sparky is like an electrician. In Australia, those jobs are like well paid and like stable because we always need them, and so I think it's pretty desirable. And also those guys are like typically masculine in that they're like active in the day, so they have muscles or whatever, and like they don't take themselves too seriously is like the stereotype. So I think that's like why girls, when they go on Love Island, they're like, they're just looking for a tradie. It also makes them seem more down to earth too, so I think that's why they also like it. But it's just interesting because I never really noticed that before. Now that I'm watching Big Brother, I'm like, oh, maybe that's why this Holly girl is going for this guy or whatever. His guy friends are like, I just don't get it. Like, she's just playing the game, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, is she? I don't know. But like, you're just assuming this because she looks like this and your friend looks like this. And you're just like instantly judging both of them. Ugh, Like, I don't know, I just think it's so funny. And like, I was like, surely people like are fine with Holly. Like, I'm fine with Holly. I think she's funny. I think she has a good head on her shoulder. She's smart. This one girl was like told by this guy called Connor, which I don't know if I love Connor. They had done this game where they went around and told like a little tidbit of themselves. And while they were doing that, Holly, who's the pretty influencer girl, she kind of was like distracted by the boys. And then this Connor man the next day told Mia, when you were speaking, she wasn't listening to you. And then Mia's like, oh, that's so like, I don't know, self-absorbed of her. They're making all these like assumptions because she's pretty or whatever. Then she goes to have this conversation with her and she's like, Connor told me you weren't listening to me while I was telling you about myself. And she's like, I was listening. She recited like so many facts about what her story was, like her very long, convoluted story. And then that Mia girl was just like, oh, I guess you were listening. And then she's like, can you recite my story? And then Mia's like, I don't remember. So we'll just have to see. It's only day 4. Like, things can go awry. But anyway, she's up for eviction. This lady called Jane's up for eviction. She's like this older lady who's like, I don't know. She feels like a bit of a Michael to me. So I don't know how to feel. I feel like she's like a bit right-leaning, a bit like conservative values and stuff. Like, someone said that someone was woke and she's like, oh, she's woke. Oh, I just can't stand that. I can't stand feminism, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay, stop trying to appease to this Michael man. He's not even cool. I just can't bear the Michael man. P.S. It's a day before my period's supposed to come, so this hatred could be unfounded. But I simply don't like it. If you're watching Big Brother, please DM me. I'd love to talk about it. Speaking of tradies, since we were talking about tradies, when I was buying my sushi, I went to the store to get a capsicum because I like having capsicum and Greek yogurt with salt and pepper in it and dipping it in as a snack. But I went to the grocer and I accidentally pushed it in front of this man and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you were in line. I went to take my stuff. He's like, no, you've only got one thing. You go. I was like, okay. Like, I was doing my thing and he's like, are you a mechanic? Because like when I'm in the area where my studio is in, I just like wear this outside because I can't be bothered to get changed. You know what I mean? It does look a bit insane. Like, I went to the bank to ask about my like mortgage or something. You could tell that they were just like did not want to help me. Anyway, this man's like, are you a mechanic? Because I realized I paint all over me. So I just turned around and I was like, I'm a painter. And then he's like, oh, a tradie. That's so cool. I was like, no, I'm not that useful. I'm a painter, like art painter. I don't know, I didn't just say illustrator. Sometimes when I speak to normal people, I don't like know whether to use that or not. Like, I'm like, is it something that people even know what that is? And he was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, bye. I feel like cringe about that. I love the area that our studio's in now. At first I was like, it's a bit quiet here. It's not really my vibe. Our previous studio was in this very like bustling arty area. This is a less so one, but I think it's coming up. And they had a Diwali festival the other day down in like the main part. There was like 4,000 people there and it was such a small street. It was popping off and I was like, this is amazing. If you live in Sydney, I feel like it could be Newtown in the future, as in like the vibes. The shops aren't there yet. The main road's on a highway and all of the stores are like empty. Because the owners are just like, it's actually just cheaper not to have anything in here. So we live without beautiful stores on the main road. I will say there was businesses out the front of our studio, but then there's a massage parlor. I don't know if it was like special massages or not, because once I tried to get a massage there, and they're like, you can't come here. I was like, why? But there was a massage parlor and they had a candle and it like fully lit their place on fire and spread to all the shop fronts. Now all the shop fronts are fully like, this whole building has to be demolished across the way. And I'm just, please, bubble tea shop, cafe. I'm just trying to think what kind of restaurant. I don't really mind. As long as there's just a bubble tea shop and a cafe, that'll be so good. Yeah, but yeah, this place is changing a lot. It's changing pretty fast. Sadie, this morning, basically Mia was asking him like about his company. She said, oh, like something about diversity or whatever. And he's like immediately defensive. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, I'm just asking because when I started working at Bunnings, like in retail, I wanted to find like a place that was like, you know, they had a diversity policy and like anti-discrimination policies. And he's like, well, I don't have a 12-page document on my website if that's what you're asking. Like, so defensive. And it's like, that's like a baseline in Australian companies to have anti-discrimination policies. Why is he being so insane? Oh my God, my new enemy in this show, Edward maybe?
Oh yeah.
Basically, like, Coco's like, can I have some tuna? I haven't eaten all day. Like, they're like, yeah. And he's like, can you not open it in here? Blah, 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 blah. And then Mia's like, oh, I feel like it's the kitchen. Like, maybe you should step out or something if you can't handle it. And he's like, don't start, Mia. Don't start with me right now. Storms off like a baby. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy. He's getting bravado and he's like bonding with the boys being like aggressive. It's really bad.
It's so sad when you see that happen to people. And you're like, dude, just don't lean into. When you're saying the bottom,
the tier list, it's like SABCDEF.
Who's making this list?
Just randos on Twitter.
Okay.
They're also on Twitter, so. Everyone's been asking me what I want for my birthday. When I say everyone, I mean like Nate and Rocket. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't really yearn for anything. Everything I want is just art supply. Like, I don't have interests. My other interests at the moment are just reality TV, Stardew Valley, I think swimming. I haven't done it yet. Last summer, I really enjoyed going to the pool, and it comes down to it. And so people ask what I want. I'm like, I don't know. There's way more ideas I had for like Christmas. So in my head, birthday and Christmas gifts are really different. Like, if Rocket asked me what I want for birthday, like, it's really hard to know because I can't really think of anything. All the things I could think of that I could want are more like Christmas gifts, like homewares or like pajamas or like slippers or something. You know what I mean? We reserve homewares for Christmas gifts so we both can buy them together for the house. Because if you get someone a homeware gift for their birthday, it just feels like it's a gift for you and for them, I feel. Because it's a gift for the house. I always get Rocket like music stuff that enables his hobby of music, because when he was growing up, he did like a lot of audio production. He studied like audio engineering when he was in high school, and he was producing, like when he was like 14, he was producing music for like older musicians, older as in 26-year-olds that lived on his street. And like he won this competition where like it was on MySpace, and you had to like create a piece of music inspired by the movie Australia, and Baz Luhrmann chose the winners, and he chose Rocket. I don't know what place Rocket came, but he won $5,000 and a MacBook Pro. And like his family didn't have a lot of money growing up, so this was like a big deal and very empowering for him creatively, because it gave him the tools that he needed to like deal with his hobbies. You know what I mean? It was fresh, it was nice. I'm sure it was a source of pride. I know he spent the money like when he was skating, like on food and stuff, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I like to keep that energy going and give him gifts that are for his like music hobby, so that he's not only investing time in his photography, because I know he loves music. However, this year I got him a non-music hobby device. This year I got him a AGO or AGO film processor, and essentially what it is you put the chemicals in, and then you can develop your film in like less than an hour on set even, which is why I wanted to get it. Also, like the places that he gets his film developed are kind of like far away, so it takes time, it costs a lot of money. Sometimes he's developing like 10 rolls of film at a time. This would allow him to do it on the spot. Also, I know that he's wanted to shoot film for clients before, and they're like, oh, we can't because it just takes too long. Like, we need them now. So we could do select, like where they select the photos they want him to edit. And so that's not an excuse, because now he can edit it on the go. But he has to learn how to use it first. With film processing, the chemicals have to be a certain temperature. Like, I don't know how much. You have to ask Rocket. It's like 30 to 40 degrees or something like that. Ask Rocket. I don't know. Anyway, he got like, and there's like 3 different things that you need to like heat up to different temperatures, or maybe the same temperature. He got 3 like of those bottles that like heat up. They're meant for heating up breast milk, but they're like just thermoses kind of. Like bottles that you can bring on the go and heat it up on the go. And so he's like starting to find his like portable film processing kit so he can build it up, practice, and then bring it to set and stuff. So that's the first time I've gotten him camera stuff, because I feel like he does ultimately really like getting camera stuff as gifts, but I just can't. I just did my 20 minutes. This is what I came up with. It was probably more than 20 minutes. The alarm went off. It was probably 25 minutes. Some of these sketches are like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Some are 20. I just go for at least 20 minutes, because I think it'll eventuate to like a bunch of ideas that maybe I can take into my solo show for Tokyo. I really was thinking that my solo show would center around like spots and stripes, which is why I put it into the prompts this year. The Peachtober prompts are all often autobiographical in like what I've got planned and what's coming up. And so, for example, Owl was in last year and the Laybird was already in progress, and Spots and Stripe was in this year, and I think that's visual theme I want to include in my show in Tokyo. So anyway, I'm going to move on to pictures for the Laybird. I worked out yesterday that I have about 3.5 days for each spread, which doesn't include like editing time, which is fine. I can do the editing at night after I finish painting in the day, which is kind of like my routine for Peachtober, so it's good training. I can tell I'm going to be tired by the end of the year though, that's for sure. And then I go straight into my production for the show. It's going to be I feel like the last month and a half plus the next 4 or 5 months is going to be quite grueling. So fine. Happy to do it. I just know I'm going to be sleepy, you know? And I don't yet know how to manage my personal life falling away, as in just like my house, the cleaning aspect and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Because I really do have to be working full days at the studio. We probably got in at 7:30, 8 today. I'll probably leave. Actually, I'll probably leave at 5 or 6 because I'm going to Nate's house tonight. Let's just jump into it. I feel really tired. And last time I felt like this, I went to lay down on the couch. I was like texting, Chris was going to call me because he was visiting the gallery in Tokyo. And then I said, I'm just going to have a nap quickly. He's like, I'll call you in 30 minutes. I was like, I'll just have a nap. I woke up 2 hours later. I'm like, So I don't know. I am due. The crimson wave is coming, if you will. So maybe that's why I'm so tired. That happens sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to jump back onto that last panel illustration that I was doing yesterday. I reckon I can finish it by noon, and then I'll start one of the simpler illustrations so it just feels like I'm getting as much done as possible. Some of the double page spread illustrations are like more hectic and busy. So I'm just looking at my color script over there. Some of them are pretty simple, so I'm hoping that 3.5 days like kind of evens out to be a little bit faster. We'll just have to see these smaller illustrations that I'm doing. Yes, they're smaller. Yes, they're smaller portions, and I'm not filling out as much of a full page, but they are more detailed. Since I just did the piece that I was most excited to do for the whole book, maybe I'll jump onto another exciting piece. I'm really excited about this one where the late bird meets. I can't tell you. Ooh! I read my book again, like my manuscript again today, this morning. I do it sometimes. I really have to do it a lot because I'm still like bursting into tears as I read it. I don't know. I don't know if this is just this book is the most close to home or like touching book I've ever written, but I'm still so emotional when I read it, and I cannot be emotional like this when I read it to kids. Like maybe I have to just read it every day if I'm desensitized. But how long will it take? I've probably read it hundreds of times, and I wrote it. I'm loving doing this ink over the top of the watercolor. I want to try and emulate this for my show, but on a larger scale. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Maybe dry brushing. It's just very storybook, very nostalgic, which I'm really into right now. I'm really into that high contrast that putting like a black scratchiness texture over the top to create shading gives. But this is why it's hard for me to do many projects at once, because I'm like jumping between little worlds I've created. Like this isn't really a world, but this is just like a direct translation of what's in my head. The late bird is like its own little world that's been created, and then my paintings are like their own little world. So it just feels like jumping between the world and having to like code switch or something creatively. I don't know how to even explain that, okay? While I paint my pieces for the late bird, I want to say a big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video as per usual. If you don't know already, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform for building your website. I'm just laughing because if you guys have been here, you've heard me talk about it for 5 to 7 years. I've used them for like 10 years. They're simply the best. I honestly find that they're the best balance between like all of the different things that you can use websites for, especially as a freelance creative. If you're like me, or if you're a part-time and you want to advertise your services, you want the flexibility for your website to grow with the services you provide. So because part of my business is commercial illustration and stuff, I use my portfolio as my homepage. I also have a blog, which I will admit I haven't updated for a while, but it's there so that when I have sparks of inspiration, I can put stuff there for you guys to find anytime, regardless of if social media exists or not. I have my shop. When I have shop updates, I do this at least once a year for Peachtober, but sometimes updates in between. And this flexibility and ease allows me to make sure that my business is just doing what I want to do. It can follow my joys, and I don't have to worry about like the logistics behind it, if that makes sense. If you've never tried Squarespace, go to squarespace.com/furrylittlepeach. You get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. I would definitely not be a customer of 10 years if I didn't adore Squarespace. Thank you, Squarespace.